fight AIDS! Act up, fight back, fight AIDS! Act up, fight back, fight AIDS! Act up, fight back, fight AIDS! All right! Rise and resist! Rise and resist! Rise and resist! Rise and resist! All right, thank you everybody for coming out today! My name is J.W. Walker. I am so proud to be your MC for this part of today's action. I got to know Mark through his work with Rise and Resist, but I've long respected his work for Act Up, and I could not be happier than to be here as someone who has benefited from the work of Act Up and someone who has been proud to march in these streets with Rise and Resist for the past 10,000 years. I'm going to start off by reading the mission statements of our two organizations and then talk a little bit about Mark Milano before I introduce our speakers. First off, can everyone hear me? Okay. Act Up. The AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power, Act Up, was founded in 1987 in New York City. It is a grassroots political group working to end the AIDS pandemic. The group works to improve the lives of people with AIDS through direct action, medical research, treatment and advocacy, and working to change legislation and public policies. United in anger and committed to direct action to end the AIDS crisis.
Yes! Act up!
Fight back, fight AIDS! Act up, fight back, fight AIDS! Act up, fight back, fight AIDS! Act up,
Fight back! Fight AIDS!
all right. And now I'm proud to read the mission statement of Rise and Resist. It's a little bit longer. Rise and Resist was formed in response to the 2016 U.S. election. We are a nonviolent direct action group made up of both new and experienced activists committed to opposing, disrupting, and defeating any government, corporate, or other act that threatens democracy, equality, or our civil liberties. We work collaboratively, creatively, respectfully, and with all the joy we can muster for the health of the people and the planet. We reject state-sanctioned violence, bigotry, and systemic discrimination in all its forms, including those directed at people because of their disability, gender, identity expression, immigration status, race, religion, sex, and sexuality. We condemn all the oppressive policies that define the current government regime. We strive to intentionally honor the complex challenges we face. Join us in fighting for justice. Rise and resist! Rise and resist! Rise and resist! Rise and resist! All right. I like to think that Mark is looking down, spreading his energy over us today. These two organizations meant so much to him. He dedicated his every able moment to doing the important work that these groups do. Today we're going to have a number of activists from these organizations talking about the work that we are doing, the work that Mark has done, and the work that we need to do right now in this moment when a fascist autocracy has taken over our government and is putting the rich and powerful billionaires in charge of every aspect of American life. I'd like to call up our first speaker, someone who I have been proud to know for almost 30 years. A powerful activist and advocate from Popular Democracy. Please welcome Jennifer Flynn Walker.
Hey everyone, welcome in. We are live in New York City.
Hey everybody.
Smash that like button, share this live stream. We will be live for a few hours today.
The very best people are in ACT UP. And I mean that, not were in ACT UP. because what ACT UP built doesn't belong to the history books. It belongs to us right now on this street, in this fight. That is the tradition that we stand in today. And I want to take a moment to honor one of the people that carried that tradition on his back when it would have been so easy, so many times, for him to rest and recover and take care of himself, and so easy to walk away, but he did not. Mark Milano. When ACT UP was at its height, Mark was there. And when the crowds thinned, when the meetings went from hundreds to dozens to a handful of people in the room, Mark was still there. He never left. He understood something that all of us in this work need to tattoo on our hearts. You don't fight because it's easy. You fight because it's right.
That's right.
Mark was at every protest, and when he was there, you knew he was there, because Mark Milano had the loudest voice in the room. Not just the biggest lungs, but the clearest, loudest moral vision. When Al Gore, then a presidential candidate, was working to prevent South Africa from importing life-saving generic AIDS medications to protect their pharmaceutical profits, Mark was the one who got in his face. Think about that. A man who wanted to be president of the United States was letting people die. Oh wait, we understand that now. Yeah, that was shocking back then. They was waiting for letting other people die on a continent for a patent, and Mark Milano exposed that and said, not on my watch, and he succeeded. He disrupted then presidential candidate Al Gore's first campaign event, and he helped force a reversal. People in South Africa and around the world are literally alive today because Mark showed up loud and refused to back down. And I can still hear Mark Milano screaming louder than anyone else, "ACT UP! Fight back! Fight AIDS! ACT UP! Fight back! Fight AIDS! Fight AIDS!" My name is Jennifer Flynn Walker, and I'm the chief of the Fight Back team at Popular Democracy. We're a network of 48 of the most badass community organizations in this country. We come from different places, different fights, different front lines, but we're connected by a single belief that power doesn't give up anything without pressure, without disruption, without people like Mark Milano who stay in the room when the room gets small and raises their voice even when the powerful would rather not hear it. I had the honor of working very closely with Mark while I was at Health Gap, another organization that he dedicated his seemingly endless time to. He took the time to teach me the science behind HIV medications. He took the time to teach thousands and thousands of New Yorkers about HIV medications. And just last year, he called me up and he had a series of phone calls with me to teach me about the importance of investing in retirement funds because he was worried that I wouldn't have any money as I was getting older. ACT UP taught us that the most radical thing you can do is to refuse to accept that people are disposable. Mark deeply believed that every single human being was worth fighting for, and he never stopped, even when his own illness made it difficult for him to do so. He showed up over and over, time and again. He put his body on the line. He called other activists to check in. He never gave up on any of us, and he never gave up on this fight. He was a proud media whore who reminded us that it is critical for everyone to hear every single thing that we have to say. Let us carry that lesson into the fight that we take on for housing, for healthcare, for workers, for immigrants, against ICE, for people in Gaza, for everyone in the system who the powers that be have decided don't count. A lot of people thought that ACT UP would go away, and it hasn't. We are here today. The powers that be, Donald Trump, MAGA, think and hope that we'll go away. We won't. The spirit of Mark Milano will not let us. Thank Thank you to each and every one of you who are in the streets today. You matter, and I will fight for you like Mark fought for all of us. Act up! Fight back! Fight AIDS! Act up! Fight back! Fight AIDS! Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer Flynn Walker. One of the first major actions that Rise and Resist did was an action at the Trump International Hotel and Tower. Save Obamacare, Trump care makes us sick. It put us on the front pages of newspapers and websites all over the country because we took a powerful stand against him. Mark Milano was behind that action, and side by side with him was our next speaker, Mark Haney from Rise and Resist and from ACT UP.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. My name's Mark Haney. I'm one of the leaders of the Rise and Resist Healthcare Action Group. And when we first set up the action group back in 2017, when the very first thing that the incoming Trump regime was working on at that time with their allies in Congress was to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. And Mark knew what that would mean for people living with HIV/AIDS and for all people living with serious and chronic and life-threatening illnesses. So he organized this action in the Jean-Georges restaurant at the Trump International Hotel, where people went in on a Sunday brunch and ordered food and sat down, and at a certain point, they all stood up and started coughing. It was called a cough-in. And on the way out, they chanted the phrase, "Trump care makes us sick. Trump 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 care makes us sick." And he and the people who were undertaking the action walked out to a crowd of 300 people and press that was being covered. And as Jay was saying, the coverage went all around the world. And this was even before they had taken office. It was before the inauguration. The next thing that Mark got involved with, there were many things, but I'm just going to cover a few of them. Working with Rise and Resistance, he and a few people somehow managed to get into the VIP visitors section at the Trump inauguration in 2017. And at a certain point, they stood up and started yelling. I don't remember the chant because I wasn't there. But
You elected a fascist. We all screamed.
oh, you elected a fascist. Okay, that's what he screamed, and it completely disrupted the proceedings. All the press sort of navigated there. I mean, that was one thing. Jennifer talked about Mark being a media whore. He absolutely knew how to grab the media's attention. And that was another event that happened. The third thing that he did was with us was once the machinations started in Congress to actually begin to repeal the Affordable Care Act, we launched the Save Our Healthcare campaign. And one of the things that we did is, with a whole number of groups here in New York City, we did a action in front of the federal building downtown where the offices of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services exist for this region. They are the entity under Health and Human Services that manages and runs the Affordable Care Act marketplaces. So we did a Medicaid block grant vigil there where we literally built a wall probably 6 feet high and maybe 8 or 10 or 12 feet long of cardboard blocks that said Medicaid means, and different slogans, what it meant for people who had all kinds of things, what Medicaid does for people. Medicaid is the largest payer of health care for people living with HIV/AIDS, and always has been. So we did that, and again, we got lots of coverage because Mark's thing was we have to create a big, stunning visual. That's what attracts the media to come and cover what we're saying and doing. And another thing we did that Mark helped organize with Popular Democracy, Jennifer, I know you were very involved in this, was we did a 24-hour Save Our Healthcare Vigil outside the Trump International Hotel at the corner of Central Park South. And we stayed there for 24 hours. And there were speakers that spoke on different topics. And again, that attracted a lot of media attention. We had a big coffin with candles all around it. A lot of focus on the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid. And the next thing that Mark helped organize with us was during the COVID-19 pandemic, which is still underway. I want to remind people. There was an effort, once the new vaccines had been developed, the wealthy nations were hoarding the vaccines and were backing up the drug companies who were refusing to suspend their patents so that people around the world could get the COVID-19 vaccine. So we created a campaign called Free the Vaccine. And we did a number of demonstrations here in New York City, particularly targeting the high-income companies that were backing up, like the United States and the Biden administration at that time, that were backing up the drug companies and backing up the patents and hoarding the vaccines. And so Mark created this gigantic syringe that must have been 6 or 8 feet long, made out of cardboard, that said on it, "Free the vaccine." And every time we carried that through the streets of New York here, we had doctors and nurses in scrubs that were carrying that prop. And again, it was a photo visual that went all around the world and got our message out. And then the last time I remember being with Mark in a protest was probably about 2-3 years ago, when the new Medicare prescription drug price negotiation program was starting to be enacted by the then Biden administration. And the drug companies hired law firms to take them to court to try to say that the government negotiating drug prices for people on Medicare, which Mark was on Medicare, had gone on Medicare at that time, was a violation of the Constitution. And so there was a National Day of Protest where there were protests outside these law firms that were representing the plaintiffs. And some of the protests were outside drug company headquarters. So we held one. We happened to have one of those law firms. The name escapes me at the moment, but it was down in the World Financial Center. And we had a bunch of people there. We had banners and signs about protecting, lowering drug prices in this country. Because as we all know, we here in the United States pay 2 to 3 times the amount for drugs than anywhere else in the world. We get ripped off royal by the drug companies. Every other country has a national health care program of some kind that negotiates those prices that are affordable for people who need the drugs. We are starting to do that now here in the U.S. under Medicaid. So Jennifer talked a lot about Mark's qualities. I won't repeat that. He did have a booming voice. He was fearless and courageous, especially when he was confronted by opponents of whatever the cause was of the day. He was very knowledgeable about science and facts and the intersection between politics and public policy. He was often very obstinate when we were trying to work with him in a loving way, but more often than not, he was always right in the end of what he was advising that we do. So I want to one other thing that Mark worked on a lot was he led community-based HIV/AIDS research here in New York City. It was not through the hospitals, it was through community-based organizations. He worked on what we called in the ACT UP movement back in the day, the Demand the Cure project. So I just wanted to note that. So I'm going to want to lead us in a couple of chants and then we'll move on with our programming. So, save our health care! 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 The next one is end vaccine apartheid! 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 Another one is we demand a cure! 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 And the last one, of course, is one that we all embrace, but was really near and dear to Mark's heart about universal health care. Health care for all! 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 Health care for all!
Thank you, Mark. I was one of the people here who had the honor of attending Mark's wedding to his beloved Jerry. Time is meaningless since COVID, so I'll be damned if I can remember what year it was in. But their love shone through that evening. It was a beautiful thing to behold. And now I'm very happy to welcome Jerry up for this next portion of the rally.
Hello everyone, I'm Jerry Valero. I'm Mark's husband and partner for the last 23 years. It was 2022. Mark said that after 20 years we'd better get married, now that it was time. I did not prepare, I thought I was just going to mention his name, so I didn't prepare anything. I can't add to what others have already said about Mark, and I'm overwhelmed by the outpouring of love, support, recognition that people have shared with us, for me, his family, since he passed in January. As I was listening to everyone, I hear the very public Mark Milano. He was everything that they said, and but Mark was also very private. Had a private side to him, and a very gentle side to him, and maybe that's the part that he shared with me. Mark was, in addition to the activism, Mark was an educator. He worked for ACRIA, various AIDS organizations, and he took very special interest in the people that he would advise. He would run seminars for people with AIDS who don't know how to talk to a doctor. He believed in empowering them so that they just don't accept what they're told. And late at night, people would call him. And Mark would always spend the time. He never wavered in sharing that part of him. To the very end, Mark wanted to be a part of the movement, the progressive movement, the movement to fight for rights, for human rights, whether it's AIDS, whether it's fighting a fascist government, whether it's discrimination. He was, at the end, dealing with cancer, but he said, as long as I can get out of my 5-floor walk-up apartment, I will walk down. And he was training, at the very end, to be an election monitor, poll watcher. And he went to classes. He was the only one in the class to attend, to be a poll watcher. Unfortunately, he couldn't go at the end. So I guess in our relationship, Mark was the activist. He was the one in the front of the lines. And I told him I am not a public person. I will be with you, but I will be at the back of the line. I will be in the march, but I will be in the back. I'm happy for you to be in the front, where he should be. But today he can't be here, so I'm speaking in his behalf. And I know the next part, I think, is a roll call. So, in Mark's honor, again, first of all, thank you to ACT UP, thank you to Rise and Resist, to Jay, to Jen, to Mark, for this amazing tribute to Mark. And also to all the other heroes and warriors of the AIDS movement, ACT UP, Rise and Resist, and all the groups, community groups here. So, to start off the roll call of heroes and warriors, I'm calling out the name of Mark Milano, present. Thank you.
I'm going to call out the names of some of our warriors that we've lost in recent years. And what I'd like for you all to do is to respond, we remember you. Mark Milano. We remember you. Nanette Kazoka. We remember you. Jerry Wells. We remember you. Tim Lunsford. We remember you. Mel Stevens. We remember you. Kathy Otterson. We remember you. Larry Kramer. We remember you. Andy Velez. We remember you. John Vega. We remember you. Now, if anyone out here has a name that you would like to call out, someone that you've lost to HIV and AIDS, or someone who fought in the fight that we've lost, please shout out their name. I'll start with my late partner, Greg Allen Torso.
We remember you.
We remember you. We remember you. We remember you. We remember you.
Curtis Melton.
We remember you. We remember you.
Robert Breger.
We remember you.
Rex Wasserman.
We remember you.
Bill Zwickler.
We remember you.
Tina Cho.
We remember you.
Dr. Paul Farmer.
We remember you.
Dr. Sonoman.
We remember you.
Sally Cooper.
We remember you.
Jeffrey Griglack.
We remember you.
Stanley Burke.
We remember you.
David Nelson.
We remember you.
Don Bernard.
We remember you.
David Martin.
We remember you.
Jim Brudner.
We remember you.
Bob Wagner.
We remember you.
Michael Cowan.
We remember you. We remember you. We remember you. We remember you.
David Camacho.
We remember you.
Sandra Vreeland.
We remember you. We remember you.
Bob Grafsky.
We remember you.
Sylvia Rivera.
We remember you.
Keith Kyla.
We remember you. Bob Kohler. We remember you.
David Wonderovich.
We remember you.
Damian Martin and Emery Hetrick.
We remember you.
Pedro Zamora.
We remember you.
Dennis DeLeon.
We remember you. We remember you. We remember you.
Anchorman Max Robinson.
We remember you. Elizabeth Glazer. We remember you.
Elizabeth Michaels.
We remember you.
Joseph Sonoman.
We remember you.
Jose Jimenez.
We remember you.
Sergio Cortez.
We remember you.
Carlos Zambrano.
We remember you.
Alden McKeon.
We remember you.
Greg Maya.
We remember you.
Joseph Linder.
We remember you.
David Wonderovich.
We remember you. We remember you.
Spencer Cox.
We remember you.
Arthur Russell.
We remember you. We remember you. We remember you. We remember you.
Keith Herring.
We remember you.
Vito Russo.
We remember you.
Dana Smith.
We remember you. Randy Schultz. We remember you.
Kathleen Cadet.
We remember you.
Harold Pickett.
We remember you.
Johnson.
We remember you.
Carlos Martinez.
We remember you.
Elizabeth Taylor.
We remember you. We remember them all. We remember them with joy. We remember them with respect. We remember them with commitment to keep this fight going. And I'm going to say that what we are going through in our government right now is like the worst acid flashback you've ever had in your life, back to 1981 to 1988, when we had another doddering old white man who didn't give a fuck about anything but his powerful friends controlling the fate and the destiny of this country. We needed Act Up to come into existence then, because nobody else is going to fight for us. Now we're in a space where so many communities are under attack that it seems impossible to focus on everything. And so those of us who have been in this fight for treatment, for research, for access to medication, for vaccine development, here and around the world, we're going to have to redouble and retriple and requadruple our efforts, because they are trying to kill us. They are trying to kill us. Trying to kill us. So now I would like to invite up for the next portion, as we've done our piece of remembering these amazing warriors that we have lost. Now we're going to talk about the fight that we have before us and the fight that we are going to commit to. And I'd like to call up Eric Sawyer from ACTA, Housing Works, Health Gap, from everything. Eric Sawyer.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Eric.
How are you? I'm going to talk a little bit about something that Jay mentioned briefly, and that's the similarity between what we're going through now under this horrible Trump administration and what we first experienced in 1987 in the Ronald Reagan administration. Like my AIDS shirt, it kind of called out how we thought he was a despicable thing that made us sick. So in 1987, that was 39 years ago, I got a call from my good friend Larry Kramer, who said to me, Eric, I need your help. I've just found out that the federal government has allocated $100 million for AIDS research funding, but only one drug, AZT, is in clinical trials, and there's a hiring freeze at the National Institute of Health that won't let them hire any researchers to oversee any clinical trials. They didn't want to actually mount an effective AIDS research. They just wanted to have a photo op and put out a press release to make people think they were actually going to do something about AIDS.
That ain't right.
Larry wanted to make the world aware of this. He said we've got to create a civil disobedience group like the anti-war movement and start disrupting business as usual and impress upon the press that AIDS is a crisis, that it's spreading in Africa and other places to heterosexuals. It's increasing at astronomical rates every year, and in the gay community, half of us are going to be dead within a year or two if some treatments aren't developed to try to slow the development of AIDS. He said he was going to give a speech at the LGBT Community Center just over that big white building there, and he was going to call for a civil disobedience organization to be created, and wanted me to bring some friends together to go and stand up, raise our hands, volunteer to help him plan the first demonstration. And he already had it in mind that we would go to Wall Street and target the pharmaceutical companies as well as the U.S. government, because they were complicit in not doing any research to find treatments for AIDS. Now you might ask yourself, why was this happening? Well, there's kind of three major reasons. The first one was that Reagan didn't give a shit about people. In a cabinet meeting, he was asked, shouldn't we be doing something about this HIV problem, this AIDS stuff? And his comment was, why? Aren't the right people dying? At that time, HIV was primarily in the U.S. and in Europe, only affecting gay men, IV drug users, and sex workers. Those were expendable people in his viewpoint. The second reason is healthcare wasn't a priority for Ronald Reagan. What was? Just like Donald Trump, who doesn't give a shit about your healthcare. You see how he's going after our Medicare, Medicaid system, right? Just like Donald Trump, another big priority for Ronald Reagan was tax cuts for the rich. In 1981, he gave the biggest tax cut ever, primarily to the rich. At that time, the richest individuals paid up to 70% of their income in taxes. The Reagan tax cut in 1 year cut that rate to 50%, the second year to 38%, the third year to 28%. Huge tax cuts, just like this big, beautiful bill. That's true. That was with a Democratic Congress. Thanks for pointing that out, Andy. And how did he want to spend that money that he was, we know he wanted to give the tax cuts to the rich so they didn't have to give us as much money. But he also did dramatic budget cuts to the federal budget. He cut health care. He cut social services. He didn't want to hear anything about education or anything that provided services to the rich. But what did he do?
Star Wars.
He increased the Department of Defense budget from under $350 billion a year to over $600 billion a year. So from under $350 billion to over $600 billion. Almost doubled the defense budget, just like our brilliant leader in Washington now. Now, you know that we started ACT UP to try to create a sense of urgency and let the general public know that something had to be done about the AIDS response. And we were pretty effective in creating a global AIDS response. When we started looking in 1990 at global AIDS funding, the only funding that was coming out of the U.S. government was USAID funding, and it was $116 million. We fought for generic AIDS drugs to be produced because part of the reason why that budget was so small is the federal government would only spend money on prevention. And we knew that prevention and treatment were inseparable, and to mount an effective AIDS response, people had to get first access to opportunistic infection drugs like TB, like KS, like the AIDS pneumonia, like thrush, things to treat malnutrition and wasting illnesses, because those were the things that were killing people with AIDS. And the treatments for most of those things were old drugs that were generic and really cheap. The only antiretroviral drugs that were developed at that time, when we started in '87, only AZT, came on the market shortly thereafter. It was followed with 2 or 3 other D drugs, DDI, D4T, DDC. But none of those drugs were being sold or were available in the developing world because they cost as much as $10,000 per person for 1 year supply. And so we fought for generic AIDS drugs, and Mark and others have talked about the fight against Al Gore, who was helping to prevent South Africa from developing an AIDS Medicines Act there that would allow their robust generic AIDS drug or their robust generic pharmaceutical industry from issuing a compulsory license to develop generic AIDS drugs. So we made that kind of the center of our rallying cry against the U.S. government's refusal to allow generic AIDS drugs to be produced, and chased Al Gore all over the country with chants of Gore's greed kills, AIDS drugs for Africa. We got generic AIDS drugs, and by working with Congress, we helped issue an error where George Bush II came up with the PEPFAR program, the President's Emergency Preparedness Funds for the AIDS Response. That's considered to be the most successful global development and global health program ever. We got the funding that was only around $100 million, 116, before George W. Bush, and subsequent to the announcement of PEPFAR, that funding has gotten up to be over $7 billion a year. It also got more than 26 million people on AIDS drugs around the world, and dramatically reduced the number of AIDS deaths and new infections every year. It built health infrastructure. It also distributed PrEP, which dramatically reduced new infections. But what did Elon Musk, Marco Rubio, and Donald Trump do within the first few months of their administration?
Killed people.
They killed PEPFAR. This highly popular $7 billion program that we fought really hard to get was killed by them in a matter of months. And we started doing a lot of demonstrations, and we got Congress to support restoring those funds. But what has Trump, Rubio and company done? They've refused to allow those funds to be allocated. They refused to let those funds be spent, even though the funds were restored by Congress, and the federal courts have said that they have to release those money so people can get access to those drugs. Well, right now we have a situation where Trump, as you know, wants to continue funding war. And just as a comparison of his out-of-line priorities, The Guardian released an article that said that the war in Iran is costing around $12.7 billion a day.
Enough for war.
Exactly. And they killed a program that was $7 billion a year that was providing 26 million people a year with treatment. And that shows how out of sync their priorities are, how much we have to go to the streets to do just what that chant is saying. Demand that money be spent for health care, not for ICE. Demand that money be spent for AIDS care and not for war. And we hope that you will join the activists that are continuing to do demonstrations to try to get those funds released and spent, and join us in trying to help to fight to restore PEPFAR. Thank you very much.
Money for health care, not for warfare. 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 All right. Thank you, Eric. Next up, I would like to invite Valerie Jimenez Reyes from Housing Works.
Hello. Hi everyone, I am Valerie Reyes Jimenez. I am the city organizer with Housing Works, and I stand before you today as a survivor. If you didn't know, Housing Works was born of ACT UP. We came out of the Housing Committee, and that was in 1990, and I walked through their doors in 1991. I want to thank Eric Sawyer, Ginny Schubert, Charles King, and Keith Kyler for opening those doors. And because they decided to do something about it instead of waiting for them to do something about it, I had somewhere to go, and I found people who cared. I've been living with HIV since 1981. I had an AIDS diagnosis in 1989, so yes, even women got AIDS back then at that time. And my son was 1, my daughter was 6, and now they're 38 and 43. So not only that, they told me I wasn't going to see my son turn 2, right? But I am a grandmother of a 23-year-old and a great-grandmother of a 9-month-old. So, you know, in 1992, I took my first international trip with ACT UP, and I heard old-timer Alden McKean. He had been HIV positive for a handful of years, and he said that he was a long-term survivor. I had to ask what that meant, but once I learned what a long-term survivor was, I knew that that's what I wanted for myself. So just recently, on March 12th, I celebrated 61 years of life, right? Every birthday, I love birthdays, but I love mine especially, right? And every birthday feels like I'm saying a big fuck you to the virus and to all of my haters. So if you're my hater, I thank you very much. You help me stay here. So I will tell you, and you know, big fuck you to the government this year, right? So science has kept me alive. Medical advances have kept me alive. Medicaid kept me alive for decades. And your hope and your support have kept me alive. But budget cuts will not keep me alive or will keep any of you alive. War won't keep any of us alive. A government that doesn't give a damn about us and will not keep us alive. Right now, changes to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act are threatening health coverage for people living with HIV and those that are most vulnerable. H.R. 1 represents one of the largest cuts in U.S. history. An estimated 15 million people could be left uninsured. And that includes hundreds of thousands of people with the virus. And we know what that means. Interruptions in antiretroviral treatments, reduced access to PrEP, lower viral suppression rates, destabilized providers, rising costs, more lives at risk, more HIV deaths, and that ain't right.
That ain't right.
So these numbers are incredible. They're like, what? But look, $1 trillion cut to Medicaid over 10 years. Not a B, not a M, not a B, but a T, trillion. 7.5 million people will lose Medicaid. 10 to 11 million people will lose health insurance. 1.2 trillion spending cuts in Medicaid and SNAP. About 500 billion would it be Medicare cuts. So if you're getting older like me, guess what we got to look forward to? 150 billion defense spending increase. 375 billion. Listen, I don't want no more numbers. Y'all can all Google this. You can figure all this out. It's bad news, right? We've made so much progress, and we will not stand by and have it dismantled and taken away. But let me tell you something. My track record and your track record up until this point, up until this very moment, is 100%. And it's 100% because we've survived every goddamn thing life has thrown at us so far, right? And this fight is not over. Many of us are older, I speak for myself, and have begun to pass the baton on to our younger comrades. We need you to continue to mourn the dead and to fight like hell for the living.
That's right.
There is something spreading across this country, something really dangerous, something really sick. There is a cancer growing and it must be cut out before it metastasizes out of control. Period. The end. I was always told, be a good girl. You know, girls don't fight. Just, Well, guess what? I was also told that if you get bullied and you get hit and you don't hit back, you're a goddamn fool. And I was going to get my ass kicked at home, right? So I learned how to stand up and fight back. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I'm going to keep on doing until I can't fight anymore. We are not going back to those dark days. Because we'll march, we'll fight, and I'll see all of y'all in the streets.
When our health care is under attack, what do? Okay, now, today, on this 39th anniversary of ACT UP, we are going back to the original response to that call and response. It didn't start out stand up, fight back. How did it start, ACT UP veterans? Say that again. When our health care is under attack, what do? When our health care is under attack, what do? When our health care is under attack, what do? When our health care is under attack, what do? That's right, all right. Thank you. Act up, fight back. I'd like to call up Maxima from Make the Road.
Wow. Thank you very much. Guess what? I'm a survivor too. Yes, I am. And thanks to every single of you been fighting for many decades. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Maxima, and today I have come representing the Trans Immigrant Project Committee of Make the Road New York. Let us emphasize that the current number of people living with HIV worldwide has, as of this moment, surpassed 40 million, with 1.3 million new infections in 2024 alone. We denounce that the absolute negligence shown toward individuals who are HIV positive, and we know that many have died while in custody of these national security and immigration enforcement agencies. Security for whom? only for them, because we are subjected to discrimination, intolerance, xenophobia, and racism. They are fully intentional on destroying the diversity that is emblematic for a city like New York and a country like United States of America. The systematic abuse against LGBTQI+ and HIV positive individuals in ICE and CBP custody is unnecessary, inappropriate, inhuman, and indeed, it's illegal. No, that is not right, that even while we are trying and going through the process of regularization of our immigration status, we are harassed in courts and waited for outside of our front doors. ICE agents have become human hunters who seek out their prey based on color, accent, and appearance. Shame on them. Companies like Palantir help make this happen through billions of dollars of government funding that could instead be used for things like healthcare and other social services that help people instead of hurting them.
That's right!
And they hurting us, of course. We demand justice. We demand respect. We demand dignity. Together, the government, health entities, and the population, we can definitely eradicate this epidemic forever. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maxima. And what Maxima said could not be more true. They are creating villains, fake villains, in trans people, in immigrants, in queer people, in poor people, so that they can rob the middle class and take that and give all of that money to the Epstein class that is building these detention facilities. Shame! And now I would like to call up from Act Up Philly, Sterling and Sam. Here.
I thought everybody was here.
Oh, there you go. Come on up. Philly in the house. Act Up Philly in the house.
Hi, thank you, New York. People with AIDS are under attack. What do? Act up, fight back. Act up, fight back, fight AIDS.
Act up, fight back, fight AIDS.
My name's Sam. I'm with Act Up Philly. So just briefly, I mean, so many of our leaders have said HIV is proof positive of racial injustice in our systems. And for so many years, we've been out here for decades. We've been out here for decades, and so many years we've been protesting because of government inaction, right? That's what's been promoting, like, racism and structural inequality that perpetuates the HIV epidemic. Currently, we are facing active genocide. We are facing a government with genocidal intentions. We are facing corporations that are funneling money into ICE and war instead of HIV prevention, like housing. We all know housing prevents HIV. Right. We know access to resources like healthcare prevents HIV. Treatment prevents HIV. With that said, thank you all so much for being here. Sterling.
Thank you, Sam. My name is Sterling Johnson. I'm from Act Up Philly. Thank you for everybody in New York, but I also gotta, put some Philly names on there like Michael Hinson.
We remember you!
John Hammond.
We remember you!
Ooh, Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi. Yeah, I mean, there's so many more, but, we're here to talk about racism and white supremacy and how that's still alive with every single policy that was put before us. Generally, there's like a high point of a pandemic or, where there's interest, but then once it seems to go down a little bit, or at least for usually the white and rich people, everybody starts to stop paying attention. But, I can tell you, I'm a survivor who became positive in 2020. It's like, it is here now. It still affects people. Like, we know that HIV criminalization still affects people. There's still people saying that it is a crime for people with HIV to have sex, to have love in our lives. It might not be a crime for people around here, but it's a crime for people in Tennessee, in Florida, in Missouri. That's right. So we got to care about them too. And we got to care about all the people that are unhoused, that are living in encampments. Where in Philly we defend their encampments. They try to build stuff. We're like, I just had at a protest the other day where we're just like, no matter what, every time they take up a tent, we're gonna put one right back down. I don't give a fuck, right? It's like, and I don't care what they want to build. They want to build like a Trader Joe's or like I guess they want an IMAX. Who cares? I don't care. It's like, if it means like you're not gonna treat our people with respect and dignity. People that have lived on the margins and that are just trying to make it honestly have had experience with the system. At least a lot of our siblings, they don't even want any of the state. They've been through what the state has to give them, and they're like, we'll figure it out on our own. Honestly, it's like, give us the medication, but we'll figure it out, right? We need to grow our own food. We're gonna take care of each other. We're gonna figure this stuff out because they're just tired. They're really tired, That's why we got to fight for some of the big stuff. Because people got to believe again. That's like one of the things that's happening, right? They're so used to the medical racism. They're so used to going to the doctor and not being believed. So used to getting fired from jobs off some bullshit, It's just every part of their life. So when stuff happens to one of us, we got to believe it. And we got to fight for it. And the thing is that, no matter who is saying it, right? Especially when it comes to like employment and our trans siblings, it's like, we can't just let them go at it alone. And through so many places, we gotta say, like, if this happens to one of us, we're gonna come back to you with an army, right? So if you fuck with one of us, you fuck with all of us. There's stuff like that. And I can tell, there's stuff going all over the country, but like, at least in Philly, it's like they're just cutting. There's a lot of cuts. There's a lot of cuts of syringe programs and HOPWA, people that are being put out of programs, and we've just been organizing in different ways. I feel like I was hearing the things around Mark Milano and thinking about the thing is the spectacle, right? You got to have the spectacle. One of the things we're doing is we're putting a banner right down Delaware Ave saying that it came into our communities. We need safe sites. We need sanctioned sites for people to live unharmed from bulldozers and police. And we want to make that, we put that right along, they call it Columbus Avenue, but fuck Columbus. It's Delaware Ave, So we want the whole world to see. If you come to Philly and come for a soccer game, you're going to see that Parker sucks, Shapiro sucks, that we're going to take care of each other, right? People with HIV deserve dignity. They can't miss our communities. These are the things you're going to see. And I really liked it. It's like, and I guess one of the last things I want to say is, regardless of race, I love all the people that have been committed to undoing white supremacy, and all the other, male supremacies, all of those, but especially white supremacy. Like, ACT UP is based in that. ACT UP Philly is definitely based in that, but we have a lot of allies that have been committed to that. And regardless of the race of those allies, they've been committed to undoing white supremacy. And that's something that we've come together on for a long time. And that's something that I've been inspired from. inspired by, you know? It's like people, they don't have to, but they know what's right. They know the right thing to do. And it actually is pretty easy to do the right thing. And I just want to say that, especially when I see people that say they have lived experience, it seems to be happening all the time, all across, where there's like people saying, I have lived experience of this, or I'm HIV positive, like in San Francisco. Somebody's saying they're HIV positive and is on the county supervisor saying that we need to keep more people in jail, right? They're just using their experience to, do shameful things. But you got to come from a lineage. And I'm glad that everybody is here. It's like, and I want to listen to, and be accountable to all the people that did it before. I'm grateful for people around us, like Jose DeMarco. It's like, so you can listen to them, so you can be held accountable. Those people aren't held accountable by everybody. So we lean into that, and we say, it's like, why do you do the things you say that we do? Why do we do it? Because we know we got to look at our community when we go out, right? When we speak in front of the cameras, we got to talk to a bunch of people that are going to, if we say something out of line, they're going to say, what the fuck is wrong with you, right? So I just want to say that, it's like, I'm just really proud that we come from this lineage, we come from all the people that are here, just really proud to stand with all of you and to continue to do it, and bring more people into this, bring more and more people into this, especially at this time when they are using so much money, so much death is happening, But I will say, things are becoming quite clear, and they're making it quite clear for us. We got the last thing I want to say, but it's the example, at least in Philly, is it's like we got University of Pennsylvania that's funding the construction of robot dogs. These robot dogs, their innovation center, right? They give them tax breaks. These robot dogs. It's like, what's the through line? It's like they're used in Gaza, used in Palestine, they're used on the border, and then they're also used in our neighborhoods. So it's like, come on. I don't need anybody to let us, they tell us the connection, right? I don't need any paper about it. So we know the enemy. The enemy is becoming quite clear. So let's get together and let's do it. Let's take him down. Thank you.
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Sterling. Thank you, Sam. And Sterling and Sam just reminded me of something that we've got to remember here in New York. We talk about ourselves as being this blue oasis. Meanwhile, we have this governor that's going to refuse to raise taxes on the Epstein class so that the poor and the working class in this city have to bear the brunt of our budgetary shortfalls. We've got, in our city council, we've got Julie Menon, our speaker, trying to limit our ability to hold protests in educational environments and near churches and near healthcare settings. Just because someone is a Democrat does not mean that they are on our side. We have to hold them to account even more because they slide by with their association with us. We have to hold them into account and call them out even more whenever we can. All right, so now I would like to call up from Act Up, Maddie B10.
Hey, lovely. Let's give it up for Act Up Philly. I'm Maddie Beaton. I'm part of the Trans Working Group. And I want to talk about something a month ago that is very present with us today. So on February 17th, members of Act Up New York, Act Up Pittsburgh, shout out to Act Up Pittsburgh, we joined an action led by Gender Liberation Movement in front of the HHS building in Washington, D.C. to protest the cruel and deadly policies designated to cut trans care nationwide. We gathered with parents of trans youth, care providers, and movement leaders. Quoting the brilliance of co-founder of GLM, Raquel Willis, who led the action, we were there to submit our public comment. I'm going to need you for this one. When trans youth are under attack, what do we do? When trans youth are under attack, what do we do? 25 of us were arrested after being held for 12 hours. When we were released, we received news that NYU and other hospitals preemptively capitulated to Trump and RFK and were canceling appointments for trans youth. Parents who were with us learned of their kids' appointments being canceled after we were released. This is in violation of the New York State Constitution, and we know how deadly the consequences are. Here in this city, we celebrate and applaud Mayor Mamdani's move to appoint Director Taylor Brown to lead the Office of LGBTQIA+ Affairs. We also need statewide public support for healthcare. We need to pass the New York Healthcare Act and push for the creation of public clinics to offer trans care. Passing the New York Healthcare Act would reduce the dependence of the state on the federal administration, which is critical at a time when providers in New York are denying access to care for trans youth out of fear of retaliation by the current regime. The threat of withholding Medicaid payments to hospitals who provide care has had a devastating effect on trans youth in our city. The New York Healthcare Act would make healthcare more accessible to all New Yorkers. Costs would no longer be a barrier to patients getting the life-saving care they need. We need public clinics to fund trans care, HIV care and prevention, sexual health care, COVID care, so these essential services are not pawns of fascist power where private hospitals are over-eager to cut while they give money to Palantir. This could be a model for a national healthcare system. Cis allies, we need you in this fight. We need you to put your bodies on the line like parents of trans youth are doing. We need you to donate to leading trans orgs. That's right. We need you to support the logistical steps for accessing care. When trans youth are under attack, what do we do? When essential funding for HIV research, treatment, and prevention is under attack, what do we do? Trans care is life. Trans youth deserve health care. The ACT UP Trans Working Group emphasizes that our struggles are interconnected. We say hormones, not drones. Care, not cops. Health care, not warfare. Abolish ICE, dismantle Palantir, free Palestine, Black trans lives matter, end AIDS.
Yes, and now, Charlie Zebek from ACT UP.
Greetings, mi gente. I'm here from the ACT UP Local Issues Working Group. And I just want to say something really quick about local issues. Clearly, we're here directing our ire towards a federal fascist administration on every level. But on every level means on the state level, on the city level, we have a whole structure of representatives, and it is unacceptable for them to respond by shrugging and simply saying, well, this was cut, funds were cut. That's not an answer. Compliance is failure. We have to understand that. Any excuse that surrenders to that sort of authority is not doing us any service. So our local officials need to do more work and work with us in this instance. So, with that said, this is a message from ACT UP Local Issues Working Group that's been engaged in a clinic watch campaign, monitoring the conditions at the New York City Health Department's free clinic system for the past 2 years and advocating for updates and improvements. Here in New York City, we have an amazing and free sexual health clinic system. It's not only free, but it also does not rely on federal funding, so it's not jeopardized by funding cuts from the president. But many of you here today have probably never heard of it. Why don't they advertise? Well, lucky for them, we're here at ACT UP 39 to give them a free ad slot instead, and to tell you how to bully them into making it even better. So, this is a public service announcement. There are free health clinics in Morrisania, Jamaica, Corona, Fort Greene, Chelsea, and Central Harlem. They're open Monday from 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. You don't have to make an appointment or show insurance or ID or be a citizen. Just show up and they will see you. They offer PrEP, PEP, HIV treatment initiation, medication abortion, doxy-PEP, and STI testing, and treatment for bacterial vaginosis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, Mpox, and HIV/AIDS. They also offer Plan B, as well as birth control ring, patch, pills, or shot, pregnancy tests, and IUDs. They offer vaccines for HPV, hepatitis A and B, meningitis, and Mpox. These are amazing services, and we encourage you to use them all the time and to tell all of your friends that they're available. And we also need your help. We want these clinics to extend their hours to be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday. In order to see daytime workers and school-age teens, we want them to provide free PCR COVID, flu, RSV testing, which they can afford because it uses the same testing machines as the STI tests. And we want them to provide gender-affirming care for trans and non-binary youth and adults because we need this at a city level. So it can't be fucked with by federal courts. We also need the health department to pull money from other parts of their budget to reopen the quote-unquote temporarily closed clinics in Crown Heights, Staten Island, and Riverside that they quote-unquote can't afford right now. Lastly, we need the health department to create a free KN95 mask program that provides ear loop KN95 masks in subway stations, in libraries, and at these clinics. Because although the health department admits that KN95 masks, unlike surgical masks or cloth masks, are the only options that will protect the wearer from COVID and other viruses, even if people around them are not also masking, there is no place in New York City to get a KN95 mask unless you have internet access. This is, of course, a drastic inequality to public health. So call your council people first thing on Monday, ask for these improvements to the free clinic in your borough. Check out our Instagram for instructions if you forgot already, but please do this because federal funding is fakakta right now. And we all deserve free and anonymous healthcare in our neighborhoods. And remember to use these clinics because they're not for the underserved, as they say. They are for every human being because we all deserve health care. Go to the free doctor regularly because you are worth it, Miss Thing. Okay, act up, fight back, fight AIDS. Thank you.
It's almost time to march. Almost. We've got one more speaker, and then Ryan from ACT UP is going to come and get us ready to start marching, okay? So please welcome someone I'm very proud to have been arrested with in Washington, D.C., Dr. Runa Ray.
Hi everyone, I'll keep it short. I know you guys are enjoying the beautiful weather out here. My name is Dr. Runa Ray. I am here from Physicians for a National Health Plan Metro New York chapter with my daughter. I'm also the new co-chair of the DSA Healthcare Working Group. If anyone wants to get involved with either organization, please let me know. I'm here today to pay tribute to our heroes who have fallen, the heroes of ACT UP, Mark Milano in particular. I became a doctor because of ACT UP. I read about ACT UP and the band played on by the late Randy Schultz when I was 21 in the fall of 2001, 9/11. And from them, I learned about people like Mark Milano, Eric Sawyer, Greg Gonzalez, and all the dykes who loved the gay men who were dying of AIDS at the time. And they showed me that you can be a doctor or a healthcare worker and work in solidarity with your patients sorry, who are directly affected by health problems, and especially those who are marginalized, ignored, treated like crap, and left to die. ACT UP showed me that fighting for lives is an urgent fight that happens in the streets, not just in legislatures and in the ivory tower. Today, the same forces, as we've heard already, the same forces that are attacking people, that were attacking people with HIV, are attacking us all. Today, all of us are being marginalized, ignored, treated like crap, and left to die. I'm talking about the healthcare crisis that we are all living through, the fascist state, which we've heard about today already, the government colluding with powerful institutions, billionaire corporations, are robbing us, and they have their eyes set on the biggest coffers there are out there. That is the healthcare system, Medicaid, and healthcare in general. Did you know that 60% of New York City is on Medicaid? There are billions of dollars there, and they are being robbed by these corporate billionaires. And they are using it to line their pockets and build the war machine, the ICE machine, the police machine. I am part of a statewide and national movement to win the New York Health Act and Medicare for All. These are policies that propose to create a system to ensure health care for all by eliminating the scourge of private health insurance companies that dominate both the private health sector and the public sector. Medicaid is largely privatized. Medicare is largely privatized. They are robbing us of our public dollars. So we can get health care. These bills propose that we can get health care for all, every kind we need. Believe it or not, vision, dental, hearing, reproductive care, abortions, medicines, mental health, gender-affirming care, long-term care, much more, everything you need without questions, prior authorizations, co-pays, etc. In the short term, we are all here to restore healthcare cuts to Medicaid, the ACA, Medicare, protect ADAP, Ryan White, restore HIV/AIDS prevention funding, protect and restore gender-affirming care. But how do we do it? How do we win? We have to build power to take healthcare, all of healthcare, not just those programs, not just those crumbs that we've been given. We need to build healthcare, build the power to take healthcare back into the hands of people, into the hands of the public. We need to pass the New York Health Act and Medicare for All to build public power for healthcare, for education, for the things our society needs to take care of people, and not for the war machine. We don't need war in Iran. We don't need war in Gaza, Sudan, Venezuela, Cuba, anywhere else in the world that the American war machine is trying to pick a fucking another fight. I'm tired of it. They're robbing us of health care to kill innocent people, and especially children. We need to abolish ICE, release all the ICE detainees, close the concentration camps, divest from the military-industrial complex and Palantir, which we're going to hear about next. We need to get Palantir out of New York City health and hospitals. Did you know that our public healthcare system here in this city invests millions in Palantir, which is part of the surveillance state fueling the war machine? Can you believe it's been 39 years of ACT UP already? We need ACT UP and all of you today more than ever. Universal health care, not Palantir and warfare. Money for health and education, not for war and occupation. Money for health and education, not for war and occupation. Money for health and education, not for war and occupation.
Money for AIDS and health care, not for ICE and warfare. Money for AIDS and health care, not for ICE and warfare. Money for AIDS and health care, not for ICE and warfare. Money for AIDS and health care, not for ICE and warfare.
All right. Now let's invite up another one of the cross-pollinators between ACT UP and Rise and Resist, Ryan Foster Casey, who's going to send us off marching.
Hey! My name is Ryan. I'm a member of ACT UP New York. ACT UP, the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power, a group of diverse, nonpartisan individuals united in anger and committed to direct action. Committed to direct action. Committed to direct action to end the AIDS crisis. And that is exactly why we are here today. The AIDS crisis is not over. It was predicted that the AIDS crisis would end by the year 2030. But that is no longer our reality under MAGA fascism. So truly, thank you. Thank you for gathering here today to honor ACT UP's 39th anniversary for the fight that they put down 39 years ago. They went to Wall Street and they demanded to get the drugs in their bodies. Right. Okay. It's imperative that while we're here, I recognize where we're standing. We are at St. Vincent's Triangle. It is an homage to St. Vincent's Hospital. It is a tall order to be asked to recognize the role St. Vincent's Hospital played in the AIDS crisis in New York in the late 80s and early 90s. Many people here today knew St. Vincent's. They knew St. Vincent's hallway. They knew St. Vincent's emergency room. Many of our brothers and sisters in this fight took their last breaths at St. Vincent's. And now, just across the way, across 7th Ave, that's where St. Vincent's Hospital stood tall. And now, it is luxury housing and a fucking Starbucks Reserve. We are united in anger. We are on sacred ground. So everything that everyone threw down to here today, all of our speakers, all those words, all the names called, all the souls honored, take them with you into the streets today. So the organizers went back and forth and had an honor after 39th anniversary. We're to channel this rage, this anger, and we landed on Palantir. Palantir is a radical Christian, misogynistic, white supremacist founded, government profiteering, billionaire data analysis company. Palantir is currently used in New York City's hospitals and clinics. There's some murmurs that that might not be true as of today. So, looks like we're in the right place at the right fucking time. But Palantir has offices in New York at 626th Avenue. So we're here today to say we want Palantir out of our healthcare, out of our government, and out of New York City. Okay, what I'm about to say now is very imperative for everyone's safety as we go into the march and take these streets. We will march to Palantir. Once we get to Palantir, we will do another rally with our glorious drummers. We'll hit those chants. Then we will do a die-in. One of ACT UP's fundamental tools of direct action, a die-in. After the die-in, we'll have another rally. And that will be the concluding part of this action. It is imperative during this that when the marshals ask folks to get to the sidewalk, we take the sidewalk. It's very important that this happens for the safety of everyone here. When the moment comes, and you'll know when it arrives, to go to the sidewalk, take it. And again, everything that we called upon in this space, everyone we called upon in this space, the fight against fascism that we are taking in this space right now, bring it with you. Bring it with you and take it to the sidewalk and chant. Chant. All right, who's ready to march?
Okay, this is how we're going to form up the march. At the front of the march will be these two banners for our theme for today. Money for AIDS and healthcare, not for ICE and warfare. Then we will have the ACT UP banner. And behind that will be a contingent of a banner and some signs about Mark Milano. Behind that group, all the rest of us will march. We are going up Greenwich Avenue this way to 14th Street. We will turn and walk east on 14th Street.
Alright everyone, hope everybody's doing well.
When we get to 6th Avenue,
If you haven't done so already, smash the like button and get this live stream out there. Like I said, there's another part to this. So they are going to be marching to Palantir now. We will get to some interviews along the march. But it's a beautiful day out here in New York City. This is my first live stream with warm weather, finally, after 3 months in I almost said Michigan, in Minnesota. 3 months out there in the cold. I got frostbite. My fingers are healing, not completely healed, but so the fingernails fell off and now they're just growing back, but it's still difficult to use them fully. But yeah, I'm so much happier now that it's warm. I could function a lot better and work a lot better now. So yeah. If you appreciate our coverage on the ground, it's going to be a busy week coming up. We got No King's March next weekend. So make sure you are subscribed. If you want to support us and keep us on the ground reporting on these important stories, please go to statuscoup.com/join. Sign up for as low as $5 a month. That's 16 cents a day. And then we have other tiers that you can join and support us for however much you want to support us. Super chats are greatly appreciated too. So thank you all for your support. And we cannot do this work without you. So thanks again.
I'm also a survivor with HIV for 14 years. I am the director of organizing the Housing Works,
which is an organization that was born out of ACT UP. It was important for us to be out here not to just celebrate the 39 years of advocacy, but to also remember the fight continues. We are still fighting for Medicare. We are still fighting for spending cuts, and that's why we are here today.
How do you feel about trillions of dollars going to war and destruction and death instead of healthcare and housing and everything else that people have been asking for?
It's always a no-brainer. We always have to choose healthcare over hurting, killing, and destroying other communities across the country. We can't afford another war, but we can't afford to save these people. We can't afford vaccination. We can't afford to make sure that 15 million people continue to receive health care under Medicaid.
What does it say about our government basically not caring for the people that make this system run? We are the batteries that keep this country going and keep the system going, but we can't take care of ourselves.
That's right. It's important that we pay attention to who we elect. We will make it great progress, but with the shift in administration, so much is at stake right now. So it's important, right? Not that we just continue to put people in office, but that we actually vet people, that we actually build coalition, and that we hold people accountable when they're in office.
What would be your message to lawmakers, Democratic, Republican, who are failing to act in this moment and do something for the people and stand up against a fascist regime?
Yeah, what I would say is healthcare is universal. We saw the crisis in the 80s and the 90s with HIV and with AIDS, and we saw how each and every one of us were connected. And the same is true when we got hit with COVID-19. We were reminded how all of our health is interconnected, right? And so you may not be impacted by these cuts now, but I sure know that you are impacted, or someone you know will be impacted by these cuts. So when you go into office, not only do you represent us, but you are us. You are just as close to being impacted by this disease as anyone else in this country.
Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, just continue to fight back and let's end the AIDS epidemic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so they are marching, looks like west. I believe they're going west. All right, so now we're on 8th Avenue and approaching West 14th Street. Walking on the newly paved street. Feels soft. Tell me, what was important for you to be out here today?
I felt really icky about everything with ICE and immigration lately, and it just feels good to be doing something about it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on?
I was invited by a friend, so.
How do you feel about your money going towards death and destruction instead of healthcare, housing, and things that we need?
I hate it. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Any message for lawmakers who are failing to act in this moment?
Maybe show a little humanity and empathy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
My name is Jon with Status Coup.
What?
Status Coup? Yeah, that's our channel on YouTube.
What's your
Progressive, you can look this up, but just kind of tell me why it was important for you to be out here today.
Why am I here?
Yeah, why did you want to be out here? Why was it important?
I am devastated by this war and what it's going to cost the American people. They're asking for $200 billion now, and they're taking away health care, and they're preventing food on the table for poor children. It is absolutely a travesty. And I think we have to be out here in large numbers to push back against that. And I feel it's very important. I'm going to be out here today, I'll be out here tomorrow, and I'll be out here next week. And saying the same message. We need health care, not warfare. We need affordability and food on the table, not guns and bombs. It's shameful, and it's a horrible state of affairs.
Absolutely. Do you think Democratic lawmakers, Democrats are doing enough in this moment to fight back against the Trump regime?
No, not at all. They are still operating as if it's business as usual. It has not been business as usual for years. We need a new generation of people who are willing to fight. And I'm hoping, that maybe this November we not only have a blue wave, but we have a progressive blue wave. And I already see some younger people, and there's an organization called Run for Something that really puts up younger, more progressive candidates, and they're doing a really good job of getting some new folks in the mix, and I'm going to do everything I can to help them get elected. Ultimately, our best weapon is the ballot box, and as long as we have a reasonably free and fair election this fall, I think we can start to get ourselves out of this mess. But, it takes a week to destroy things, and it can take decades to build them back. But we have no choice. We have to do it. We have to do it for ourselves, for our children, for our grandchildren, and for everybody we care about. It's the only way forward.
That's excellent. Is there anything else you would like to share or say, or anything you have in mind?
I just want to say to everybody out there that No Kings on March 28th is going to be one of the most important demonstrations of disgust and anger and pushback against this fascist regime that we possibly can have. We need everybody out in the street. So go to No Kings, check with Indivisible, and find a march near you. March 28th, a week from today.
Excellent.
Thank
you. Do you want to give your name?
Sure.
Yourself. Yeah.
Sandra Radoff. And I'm with Rise and Resist.
Thank you very much, Sandra.
Okay.
And again, my name is Jon with Status Coup.
Okay.
Right? Nice talking to you. Thank you very much. I forgot where your group went. Did you lose your group?
I'll find it.
Okay. Also, guys, I want to point out, do you see Fox, CNN, MSNBC, any of the networks? Do you see anybody out here walking with the people, interviewing them, giving them a microphone? Because I don't see anybody. All I see is independent journalists and Status Coup, of course, the only ones live streaming and reporting on actual stuff that's happening. So, yeah. So if you appreciate what we do, reporting where the other networks won't go, and giving the microphone to the people who the networks won't give it to, if you appreciate that, go to statuscoup.com/join. Sign up now as a member. That is how we operate. That is how we are able to do the work that we were doing. To be everywhere we have to be, whether it's Florida, Michigan, Chicago, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Washington, D.C., L.A., Wisconsin. We're all over the place, all right? And we're a small team, but we're trying to grow. We want to be everywhere all at once because things are getting worse. As the economy gets worse, things are just going to get worse. So we want to be there, and we can't be. I can't be everywhere. JT can't be everywhere. So we're trying to grow. So yes, we rely on you guys, the members, audience. So become a member if you can. statuscoup.com/join. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe because it's going to be a busy week. And then we have No Kings next weekend. So you want to get that notification for when we go live, when we post videos. And shout out to Midas Touch for partnering with us. They've been great. And also shout out to Andrew Mercado Media over in Minneapolis. He's been doing some work for us as well while I'm home resting and healing and being with family after 3 months of being away from all of it. So shout out to Mercado Media. Thanks, bro. I'm sure I'll see you soon. All right, so they are marching down. We are going east towards. This is West 14th Street. They are heading to the Palantir offices, and where they're going to stage a die-in. Alright, so I'm pretty sure the offices are on 6th Avenue here. We're at 6th Avenue on West 14th Street.
Act up! Act up! Act up! Act up! Act up! Act up!
So you have the marshals here blocking traffic.
We'll never be silenced again! We'll never be silenced again! never be silent again. We'll never be silent again. Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street.
All right, the march is moving north, up 6th Avenue.
Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street.
I don't know if you can see it in the screen, but that is the Freedom Tower in the backdrop.
Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street. What? Healthcare is right. Say healthcare is right. No. Healthcare is right. Say what? Healthcare is right. Healthcare is right. Healthcare is right. Say healthcare is right. Healthcare is right. Say healthcare is right. Healthcare is the 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 right. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE.
All right, so we are now at West 18th and 6th Avenue.
Healthcare is the right. 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 Healthcare is a right. For AIDS and healthcare. I can't hear you. For AIDS and healthcare. Not for ICE and warfare. Not for ICE and warfare. Not for ICE and warfare. Money for AIDS and healthcare. Not for ICE and warfare. Money for AIDS and healthcare. Not for ICE and warfare. Not for ICE and warfare. Not for ICE and warfare. Not for ICE and warfare.
We are in front of 620 6th Avenue. This is Palantir office.
Christian, misogynistic, white supremacist-founded, government profiteering, billionaire data analysis company. The big old ugly bill that became law moved $1 trillion, moved our money out of our healthcare initiatives to the Pentagon. The MAGA administration increased ICE's budget by $10 billion. ICE has a budget of 85. ICE has a budget of $85 billion. And Palantir has an $81 million contract with ICE. Palantir has a $10 billion contract with the United States Army. And as of today, it looks like it might have got canceled on the day of our action. Palantir has a $4 million 3-year contract with New York City's Health and Hospitals Corporation. For the last 2 years, Palantir has been inside our hospitals and healthcare clinics to chase people down for unmissed payments. To chase people down for missed payments. Palantir is a tool of the American oligarchy. Palantir is a threat to American democracy. And we want Palantir out of New York!
All right, now what if I told you that your state pension dollars were invested in this company? We right now have the state pension fund with $500 million of your money in this company. Do we want that? No! We should. This company is systematically partnering with ICE to terrorize our immigrant families, our brothers and sisters, and murdering Americans. Is that shameful or not? Shame! We need more public officials and elected officials standing up and saying, not on our watch. The state comptroller has a $300 billion pension fund, and not only did he invest in Palantir last year, he doubled his stake when everybody knew that they were terrorizing ICE, or terrorizing with ICE. So let me ask you one last time, do we need Palantir out of our pension funds? Yes! And we need ICE out of New York? Yes!
All right, who we got next? Right here. Charlie, come on up, brother! Palantir out of New York!
From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free! These are genocidal times. What's happening in Gaza is a genocide. This is inarguable. In fact, if you are disputing this in the year 2026, you are not welcome here. There's no justification, no normalization of genocide. We start with that. And we've learned that genocide is the crime of all crimes, the worst of the worst. Palantir begins with genocide. We know that genocide is not new, and that with war, the history of war is intertwined with the history of technology. So I want you to think of Palestine as a weapons manufacturer, because that's what they are. They are a weapons manufacturer, a virtual weapons manufacturer in the modern age of 2026. The reliance on AI by Israel's military is not new. Israel's military called its 2021 operation in Gaza the first artificial intelligence war. AI has been extensively used to turn Palestinians into data bodies.
Much has been written about the testing of AI systems through the lens of Palestine as a laboratory that subjects Palestinians to experimental and deadly violence. A laboratory is where experiments take place to be brought into the world at large. And I just want to note that 2 days ago, the BDS movement declared a special target against Palantir. My first thought was, oh, what a coincidence. But it's not a coincidence. Under this imperialist structure, in the belly of the beast, there are no coincidences when it comes to fighting that structure. This is a convergence. So I just want to briefly tell you the demands of BDS, the Boycott, Divest, Sanctions movement, are simple. They say globally we must pressure governments and institutions, universities, hospitals, trade unions, sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, religious institutions, humanitarian aid organizations to end contracts and partnerships with Palantir. Divest from the company. The Palestinian-led BDS movement calls for forming broad, intersectional coalitions to lead contract exclusion campaigns, peaceful disruptions, and other forms of pressure on institutions contracting with Palantir. So please follow the BDS movement. And just today, like Ryan said, we've had already a victory. Thank you.
Money for AIDS and healthcare, not for ICE and warfare. Money for AIDS and healthcare, not for ICE and warfare. Money for AIDS and healthcare, not on ICE and warfare. Our last speaker, Jack, of Act Up New York.
We are united in our anger over the destruction that the HIV/AIDS pandemic has brought upon many. We are aware of the surveillance, torture, and killings that are at the hands of not just ICE, but the broader carceral state. However, we must also be aware of the intersections of these phenomena, specifically of HIV/AIDS within immigrant detention facilities. ICE detention serves as an arena of violence and disease towards immigrants. It puts people behind cages in conditions rife with sexual, verbal, psychological, and physical violence.
Shame!
It serves to maim human beings, with over half of LGBTQ HIV positive detainees suffering due to care being deliberately withheld.
Shame!
The incentive for ICE profiteers such as Palantir, a company that surveils and detains, is not to innovate, but to degrade. In this case, suffering isn't just apathetic, but profitable. This is not a coincidence. It is exactly the function of mass incarceration. But what about mass incarceration? In order to talk about what happens in any type of incarceration, we must discuss the implications of the carceral state itself. It serves as a punitive response to social issues, silencing marginalized groups such as HIV-positive people and immigrants. But there is another insidious purpose, to incapacitate them to maintain what influential feminist bell hooks calls the imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist, theistic, cis hetero patriarchy.
That's right!
So the question is, how do we stop this? How do we create a world without ICE, without chronic illness, without cages, in honor of for the ones who have passed before us? We must imagine where money is properly allocated in healthcare, housing, and education. We must envision a world where humans are not discarded. A world where the collective, like today, speaks out not to entrap people either behind bars or with the disease of HIV/AIDS. But to liberate people from the pain and suffering they and many others before them have faced. We must translate our suffering into hope and come together to create a world that is not a utopia, but a reality. Most importantly, we must remember what abolitionist and scholar Ruth Wilson Gilmore said: where life is precious, life is precious.
That's right! Healthcare, yes. Palantir, no. Healthcare, yes.
as they're watching us right now. That drone is watching us right now. So rise up, act up, fight back, fight in.
Fight back, fight in. Fight back, fight back, fight in. Fight back, fight in. Act up, fight back, fight in. Act up, fight back, fight in. Act up, fight back, act up. Act up, fight back. Act up, fight back. Act up. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We hate Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We here. We queer. We here. We queer. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir.
Alright guys, so I believe this is a act of civil disobedience. This wasn't supposed to happen, but I guess they have this planned. So NYPD is asking to move out of the road, but it seems that they're gonna hold up the road and possibly get arrested. So make sure you are sharing this, get this out there. Activists are engaging in civil disobedience by blocking the road on 6th Avenue and West 18th Street, where the Palantir offices are located.
We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir.
Very nicely.
Sorry. We're here. We're queer. 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 Let's see what other people do. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We won't stop fighting Palantir. We're here.
Alright, so NYPD has shifted them over to the right side of the street to allow traffic to move up 6th Avenue here. So the activists here just took a seat and they are blocking 3 lanes of 6th Avenue. We have 1 lane open. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9 activists that are currently sitting in the street here.
We're queer.
Get rid of Palantir, we're here. We're queer. Get rid of Palantir, we're here. We're queer. Get rid of Palantir. We're here. We're here. Get rid of Palantir. We're here. We're here. Get rid of Palantir. We're here. We're here. Get rid of Palantir. Get rid of Palantir.
This is the New York City Police Department.
Get rid of
You are currently blocking an active roadway. If you continue to remain in the roadway, you will be subject to arrest.
Alright, so that was the first warning.
This is the New York City Police Department. You are currently in an active roadway. If you remain in the roadway, you may be subject to arrest.
Alright, warning number 2. Maybe one more really quick. Looks like it seems that they want to get this done quickly. So they're probably going to make their arrest quick.
Get rid of Palantir, we're here. We're queer. We're here. We're queer.
This is the New York City Police Department.
We're here. We're queer. Get rid of Palantir.
If you continue to remain in the roadway, you will be subject to arrest.
Get rid of Palantir. Get rid of Palantir.
Alright, so that was 3 warnings. Seems that they're going to start making arrests now. So go ahead, get this out there, share the stream. We're going to have videos clipped and posted later. So make sure you tell everybody that peaceful activists are being arrested. Meanwhile, there's pedophiles and criminals running the government.
We're here. We're queer. We're here. We're queer.
Get rid of Palantir.
We're here. We're queer. We're here. We're queer.
Get rid of Palantir.
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 We're here. We're queer. Get rid of Palantir.
We're queer.
Get rid of Palantir.
Yeah, brother.
Get rid of Palantir. Get rid of Palantir.
We're here. We're queer.
Get rid of Palantir.
Queer.
Get rid of Palantir.
We're here. We're queer.
Get rid of Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We're here. We're queer.
Get rid of Palantir.
We're here. We're queer.
Get rid of Palantir.
We're here. We're queer. 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 Get rid of Palantir. Palantir out of immigration. Palantir out of our government. Palantir out of New York. Palantir out. Palantir out. Palantir out of immigration. Palantir out of our government. Palantir out of New York. Palantir out. Palantir out. Palantir out of immigration. Palantir out of our government. Palantir out of New York. Palantir out. Palantir out. Palantir out of immigration. Palantir out of our government. Palantir out of New York. Palantir out. Palantir out. Palantir out of immigration. Palantir out of our government. Palantir out of New York. Palantir out. Palantir Palantir out of our healthcare. Palantir out of our healthcare. Palantir out. Palantir out of our healthcare.
of our healthcare Palantir out, 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 of our We're queer! We hate Palantir! We're here! 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 We're queer! We hate Palantir! We're queer! We're here! We're queer! We hate Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We hate Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We hate Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We're here. We're queer. We're here. We're queer. We hate Palantir. We hate Palantir, we're here, we're queer. We hate Palantir, we're here, we're queer. We're here, we're queer. We hate Palantir. We're here. We're queer. We're here. We're queer. We're here. We're queer.
NYPD in the huddle, discussing a game plan. The warnings were pretty quick, so we'll see what happens.
We're queer.
election a success.
Yeah.
There were many demands and there were many motivations. We wanted to let Chelsea know that Palantir is in their backyard and that we want Palantir out of New York, out of our healthcare, out of immigration, and out of our government. Thank you for showing up today for ACT UP's 39th anniversary.
Thank you.
They're not going to arrest us. We own the streets. We own the streets. We own the streets. We own the streets.
Right, or do you want to go back to
We own the streets. 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 We own the streets.
All right, everyone. So that's it for me today. I'm going to wrap it up. Again, they are going to move. They are wrapping up. They're not going to get arrested. So they are going to get back onto the sidewalk and close out. So I'm going to wrap this up here. I got to get back home. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Again, we cannot do this work as much as we do in the places that we go to. We cannot do this without your support. So please, if you can, consider becoming a member. Go to statuscoup.com/join. Sign up now. Also, make sure you are subscribed so you get those notifications for when we post videos and go live. I will be going live again this week. I'm not sure which day, but make sure you're subscribed. All right, thank you all, and you'll see me again soon. All right, everyone, take